Hi, I'm Dustin Mason from Performance Lexus in St. Catharines. And today, I'm going to show you the 2023 RC300 in the F-Sport Series 2 package and show you why, for the price point, this is a great sport coupe to buy, whether you're commuting or if you just want a fun weekend car. Okay, let's get right into the video. But before I get into detail, make sure you hit like and subscribe to our Performance Lexus channel for more Lexus-related content. For the new RC in 2023, there was a lot more features added than I even originally thought working here with Lexus. Some of them was obvious and some of them was a little bit of a surprise to me. One of them is the Lexus Safety System 2.5 has now been added to the RC as standard. This sort of incorporates some of the higher end technologies like left turn intersection support, risk avoidance, which is like a semi-automated emergency steering to avoid pedestrians, front-to-front risk detection, DRCC curve speed management, lane departure alert with steering assist, and lane trace assist has improved quicker control and stability after a lane change. The more obvious things that changed was it now has sort of an updated interface. It's not quite the new Lexus interface system. It's sort of like an in-between. So the screen is now a little bit closer and it's also a touch screen. And we also have the remote touch still, but I'll show that in the interior. Let's look at that front grille. So this one being the F-Sport Series 2, we have the beautiful F-Sport grille with that sort of hatching design. It is complemented and trimmed off by this smoked out chrome. It's not quite blacked out, it does still have a little bit of shine to it. We also have a frosted daytime running light, and in this package and above you get the triple beam LED headlight, and if you look closely at the triple beam LED headlight, you can even see the word Lexus sort of etched onto that middle one. In terms of the rest of the bumper, we do have some venting sort of off to the side here, a little bit of a lip, but nothing too aggressive. In fact, other than that front grille, the whole front end doesn't look super aggressive. It does look a little sporty, but not over the top like the RCF or even like, you know, the 2015 RC. I found it was a little bit more aggressive there, and now it's actually subtled out a little bit. Okay, moving to the side profile, the silhouette of the RC is absolutely gorgeous. So we do have a few details here to point out. Little reflector here on the front of the bumper. We have the F-Sport logo, which is pretty much standard on everything with an F-Sport. The mirror has a black cap to it and the rest is sort of a body color. But as you sort of zoom out and look at the coupe design on the side profile, there is a lot to appreciate here. The way the A-pillar sort of blends into the roofline and then back down in sort of like a fast back design, that's absolutely gorgeous. We do have a little bit of trim around the windows. It's smoked chrome at the top and a little bit towards the rear. The bottom is just blacked out. You'll notice the sunroof, when open, it doesn't slide into the headliner like a lot of them do. A lot of times with two doors, they don't have the room for it because of the roof has to curve. So it actually, when you open it, it comes up and is actually tilted. There isn't much of a, you would think that that would create more sound. It's not too bad. When you're driving it, you know, it's just normal wind noise. So they did a good job designing that, but that is what it looks like with it open. We have the normal Lexus door handle. It does have a little bit of light around it when you approach the car, a little dimple to be able to lock it, and a little bit of a skirt here at the bottom where, you know, it kind of, instead of just like going straight down, it kind of comes out a little bit. So it looks like a little bit of a body kit, which is nice. Another feature that I didn't know Lexus added for the 2023 is on the wheel. So the lug, I can't say lug nuts, lug bolts, have now switched to the same style that we've seen on the new NX, the new RX, the new IS, where instead of being a lug and then a nut on top of the lug, it's actually the bolt. So we've seen that in European cars for a number of years. Audi, Volkswagen, Mercedes, all of those have done that forever. And now Lexus is doing it with this wheel design. And like I said, I didn't even know that that was gonna be a thing, but it is. And now moving to the back. Okay, moving to the back of the RC, we have some gorgeous taillights here. So Not as updated as some of the other cars in the Lexus lineup for 2023 and 2024, but still super classy. It is the L shape. The signal is integrated in there as well as the brake lights, etc. And they kind of stick out from the body a little bit. There is like a little bit of a shelf here on top of them. The trunk remains pretty much flat. The exhausts are at the bottom. They don't have any bumper around them at the bottom. However, they're nicely tucked away and accented sort of on that rear part of the vehicle. I think when it comes, something about coupes, two-door cars, I don't mind seeing that exhaust. Even if it's a 300 like this one, it's still nice to be able to see it, where, as I've mentioned in other videos, the new design is kind of hiding those exhausts. But since it's kind of supposed to be sporty, I think it's supposed to be there. Also, the trunk space is not terrible at all. You could definitely fit a set of golf clubs. The seats can fold down 60-40, and it's kind of as much as you would expect from a two-door, maybe even a little bit bigger than what you expect. So that's not too bad. It's definitely a very practical, fun two-seater. The interior is actually my favorite part of the car. Even though I like the styling of the exterior, the interior has kind of wowed me, especially for the price point. So it is very sporty in here, including the F Sport Series seats and the F Sport steering wheel. However, there are some details in the RC that aren't really in any other Lexus. One of them being the climate control. So in the climate control, we've seen this in the IS for a couple years, but it has sort of the little slidey thing here that you just drag your finger up and down to be able to set the temperature. It's sort of backed by this really cool matte black wood texture, I guess you could say. And that's also on the door panels as well, trimmed off with a little bit of aluminum. The clock has like this little carbon fiber or like Lexus emblem sort of etched into the actual face of it. It's backlit well. It is looking very modern. In fact, the whole interior is sort of modern. There's not a lot of buttons and switches everywhere, but it's done nicely. That screen is closer to us now. It's also a touchscreen now where it wasn't before. So you can use the mouse and also use the touchscreen. This might be one of the last cars in the lineup to have the mouse, so we'll enjoy it while it's here, but I'm sure that'll be getting switched over when they redesign this car. Little drive mode switch in the middle. We have heated and cooled seats on both sides and a heated steering wheel sort of above the shifter. Now you might think, oh, that's a really annoying spot to be able to get to the heated steering wheel, but when it's in gear, that shifter is in the perfect spot and you can actually reach it no problem at all. Armrest, nothing to write home about there. It's just a basic size. You could fit your cell phone and a few other things perhaps. The gauge cluster, especially on the F Sport models, is that LFA-inspired TFT display where you mechanically move over the whole speedo, and everybody has always loved that. It's never gotten old. And in there is a G-force meter, etc., etc. Couple hidden features though on the interior. By my left leg, there is an ASC switch. For those of you that don't know, that means active sound control. It is engine noise sort of piped into the cabin, and you can adjust that. Also, there is a wiper de-icer button over there to the left. I like when it's not in the screen and you can just hit a button real quick, especially in the wintertime for that feature, especially in Canada. So that is over there by your left, as well as the blind spot monitoring. The real test of a sporty coupe, because it's not a full-blown sports car, is how's the back seat? And can Dustin fit in the back seat? So let's check it out. Okay, it is power, so we have to wait for it to kind of come back here. My head is touching the roof for sure. Okay, my legs aren't terrible. If I had to get out in a hurry, it would suck. But if I just had to go on a short ride to a restaurant, I could survive back here for a short trip. Any longer than 20 to 30 minutes, I think my head touching the ceiling would kind of suck. My legs are up against that front seat. I'm 6'1", keep that in mind. Maybe if I was, a couple inches shorter, both of these things wouldn't be a problem. And there is enough room. It is wide enough that another person back here wouldn't bother me. There's actually a decent amount of space between me and the seat beside me. And there's actually vents back here too. So there is HVAC controls, there's some speakers, there's a handle. Actually, no, it's not a handle. You can hang up your shirt or something there. And the window is big enough that I can see out, but overall, I wouldn't buy this as a carpool car, let's say. But if you have kids, they would work back here, and there's also anchors for child seats. So there you have it. You can make it work, but it's not great. So a fun fact about the RC300, and I haven't fact-checked this, but the senior salesperson that I used to sit beside when I was on the sales floor told me that the front end is from a GS350, the midsection is from an IS Coupe, and the rear is from an IS300 or IS350. And with those three combined, you get a smooth ride, a fun to drive coupe, and just an overall great bang for buck. In Canada, this particular one beside me is like 60 grand. So for 60 grand, you get a car that looks this good, drives amazing. It's not super fast. It's got 260-ish horsepower. But if you go up to the RC350, you get like 311. It's all-wheel drive, so it's great in the snow. It's not super low, so you can still drive in the winter. And it's just an overall great, fun commuter car. It's not a full-blown sports car, but it looks like one. It just doesn't have that horsepower to back it up. It is a 6-speed transmission with the 3.5-liter V6. Tried and true, super reliable, and like I said, it was really good for the money. So, who's this for? Someone who wants a commuter car or a daily driver that's still fun, that looks good, and isn't gonna break the bank to not only run, but also to buy or lease. Thank you for watching. Let me know in the comments below what you think of the RC300, and is it the best budget two-door you can get right now in the luxury market? I think so, but you let me know in the comments, and stay tuned for the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.